Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you all are doing well. Today, just hopping into my CD collection. I typically do this twice a year. Once at the beginning of the year, typically, mid-February, this time of year, which is when I've been doing it. The past couple of years, I've been doing it. Then again, towards the middle of December. Uh, so yeah, I am back with this. Is that time once again? Then yeah, going to be splitting this up into a couple of parts, so I'm not dealing with this long, 40-50 minute video, as the previous set. Both videos were like 20 minutes in length for both of them, so I'm like, don't really want to deal with a long 40-minute video split up into a couple of parts, and it should be better that way. But I know some of it was just from, this intro and the outro of both of those videos, adding on to the length. Then, a couple of weeks ago, I gave you guys a poll asking you guys if you preferred this in a video format, a live stream format, or if you didn't mind which way it was. The majority of you said a video format, so if guys enjoy this format a little bit better, I will keep on doing it this way. Then, yeah, all of my albums are going to be in alphabetical order by artist name. I do own a couple of albums from the same artist, so once I hit those albums by the same artist will be in order of title name. I was planning on doing like release year at one point, but I feel it kind of makes a little bit more sense doing title name in some sort of way. And lastly, before I hop into this lengthy video, or we hop into this lengthy video, that this video will be going through all albums from artists, from letters A through M. Right, so here we are with the A's. The first one up is Stiff Upper Lip by AC/DC. Next, Little South of Sandy by Aerosmith. And lastly, for the A's, I have Who I Am by Alan Jackson. So that is all the A's I currently own. So I know this section will be a little bit lengthy, but I know there will be others just like this, so don't get too worried about it. So this is all of the B's. First up is Millennium by Backstreet Boys. I feel this was an enjoyable album. Next up, I have BTR, the UK edition by Big Time Rush. I feel it is an enjoyable album. I loved the show growing up. Next, I have Elevate by Big Time Rush, their second album. And lastly from them, I have 24/7, the deluxe edition, which this album turns 10 this year. Can't believe this album is going to be 10 this year. And last enjoyable album of theirs. Unfortunately, they only have 3 albums. I see they're still releasing new music, but I'm unsure if they're planning on releasing a new album anytime soon. Uh, Moving on, as I'm getting a little bit carried away, next is Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. Decent album, in my opinion. Then, after that, I have Billy Joel, the Complete Hits Collection, 1973 through 1997 by Billy Joel. Next is The Best of Billy Ray Cyrus by Billy Ray Cyrus. Then I have Legend by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Then, Greatest Hits by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Right, then, I think I got this a little bit out of order on my end. I should have this a little more organized, but next up is Britney by Britney Spears. Then I have Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears. And lastly, for the Bees, I have Unorthodox Jukebox by Bruno Mars. This album just turned 10 in December. Can't believe that it is already 10 years old, and I feel it is an enjoyable album still to this day. Now, moving on to all the C's. First up is Let's Talk About Love by Celine Dion. Next I have Jackpot by Chingy. This album turns 20 this year. Next I have A Fan of a Fan Deluxe Edition by Chris Brown and Tyga. Lastly, I have Music of the Spheres by Coldplay. Personally, not one of my favorite albums of theirs, but it does have a couple of enjoyable tracks to me, to say nonetheless. Now, moving right into the D's, kicking it off, I have Break the Spell Deluxe Edition by Daughtry. Then I have Daughtry's self-named album. Then I have David Cook's self-named album. This album turns 15 this year. And lastly, I have No Angel by Dido, finishing us off. Now, moving right into the E's, I have Plus by Ed Sheeran, as well as his latest release from 2021, Equals. Both decent albums, in my opinion, but I do enjoy Plus a little bit more. And lastly, for the E's, I have Music to Be Murdered By, Side B, the Deluxe Edition by Eminem. So yeah, there are the E's. Now, this is the first one of many we run into. I currently do not own any albums by any artist whose name starts with an F. Now, moving right into the G's, kicking it off with Double Live by Garth Brooks. This album turns 25 this year. Next, I have Saint Elsewhere by Gnarls Barkley. I feel this was an enjoyable album in my opinion, but the only thing that I disliked was its runtime, as it's only like 35 minutes in length, which were just a tad bit longer. And lastly, for G's, I have the Christmas album by the Glee cast. Now, for H's, there is only one album I own. That is this album right here, Snowden by Hanson. Now, moving into the I's, which is purely one artist and dominated by only one artist, which you guys will be seeing here in a second. First up, I have Evolve by Imagine Dragons. This album just turned 5 in 2022. I mean, it's not one of my personal favorites of their albums, but it does have some enjoyable tracks, say, nonetheless. Next up, I have Mercury Act 1, one of their latest releases. Not one of my favorites, but it is a step up to say, nonetheless, from Origins, which seems to be my least favorite album of theirs. Next, I have Mercury Acts 1 and 2. Unfortunately, this came in the pack instead of, being sold as separate, like, I thought, and a ton of others had thought. Next, I have Night Visions by Imagine Dragons, being one of my favorite albums of theirs. The album just turned 10 this past year, 2022. I see they have a special 10th anniversary edition out, which I currently do not own, but one day I would like to. Next, I finally got this one, but I now have Origins by Imagine Dragons. I don't really enjoy this album, but I figured I might as well get it just to finish off the completion of owning all their studio albums, with the exception of, again, the 10th anniversary edition of Night Visions. And lastly, I have Smoke and Mirrors, the deluxe edition by Imagine Dragons. So there are all of my eyes. So, moving on to the J's. First up, I have 9 by Jason Aldean. Next, I have Talk Dirty by Jason Derulo. Next, I have Watch the Throne by Jay-Z and Kanye West. Next, I have Happiness Begins by Jonas Brothers. Next, I have Purpose by Justin Bieber. Then, this next album I have 2 copies of. Justice by Justin Bieber. This is the Target exclusive, containing 1 bonus track. Then I have Justice by Justin Bieber, the Walmart exclusive, which also contains a bonus track, and I feel that was an enjoyable album when it was released, much better than his 2020 album that I really don't like talking about. Then I have Future Sex, Love Sounds by Justin Timberlake. And finishing this section off, I have the 2020 Experience, the complete collection by Justin Timberlake. Both of these albums turn 10 this year already. And yeah, I know I've shown this off in multiple videos in the past, but it contains both discs, one on this side, the other on, this side, and it contains a booklet right here in the center once I pop them out. So there are all of my J's. Now, moving on to the K's, I have Donda by Kanye West. Then I have Graduation by Kanye West, which, was burned onto a disc. That album just turned 15 in 2022. Can't believe it is already 15 years old. And lastly, for K's, I have Welcome to the Fishbowl by Kenny Chesney. Now, moving on to the L's. First up, I have Born This Way by Lady Gaga. This is the special edition containing 5 bonus tracks, which are mainly remixes. Next, I have Norman fucking Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. Then I have Brightside by the Lumineers. And finishing us off with the L's, I have 20th Century Masters, Leonard Skinner. So there are all of the L's. Alright, so now finishing this video off, I was going right through the M's, and now we are onto the M's. Here they all are. Kicking us off, I have The Heist by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. This album turned 10 in 2022. I still feel it is an enjoyable album to this day. Next, I have Jordy by Maroon 5. Honestly, one of their worst albums to date, but I only got because I know some people I know enjoy the band and figured might as well get it because why not? Spin it from. Next, I have Overexposed by Maroon 5. This album also turned 10 in 2022 and is practically the last album of theirs I do enjoy and still enjoyed listening to this day. Next, I have Yourself or Someone Like You by Matchbox 20. Then I have Michael Jackson, Number Ones by Michael Jackson, featuring a ton of his greatest hits. Next, I have his 1982 album, Thriller, still an enjoyable album to this day. And lastly, I own Thriller 40, which is, his most recent release, a posthumous release as well, celebrating the 40th anniversary of his classic 1982 album. So, hopefully the second part goes by a little bit faster as I'm trying to figure out what's the best way how to do all of these videos and record them the best as possible as well as quickly as possible. Same thing with editing this video together as well as the second part. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this first part of this CD collection video. The next part will be featuring all of the albums I own by artists whose names are from N to Z, plus all numbers.